You won't see it at first, but every woman gives off 3 psychological signs before she gives herself emotionally or physically to another man. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, and that's exactly why most men miss it. This isn't about jealousy, it's about stoicism, inner clarity, and the perceptive strength to spot what's slowly slipping through your fingers. Once you learn what to look for, you'll never be caught off guard again. If this message resonates with you, share it. Someone close to you might be walking blindly into heartbreak right now. Help them see what's hidden in plain sight. Let's break down the signals you were never taught to see, and why your silence in front of them is costing you more than you think. The 3 signs she shows before giving herself to another man. Most men never notice the moment she begins to drift. It doesn't start with betrayal, it starts with subtle emotional distance, a different tone in her voice, a slower reply, less eye contact. You'll tell yourself it's nothing, but that's how it begins. These aren't just random changes, they are early psychological signs, and once you understand what they really mean, everything you thought about love will shift, fast. You don't lose her the day she walks out, you lose her the moment her attention shifts, and it always shifts quietly. This is where male intuition must rise, because while you're waiting for something obvious, she's already halfway out the door. Her smile remains, her routine stays the same, but something beneath the surface changes. This is where men with perceptive strength separate from those who sleepwalk into heartbreak. There are 3 specific signs, and no, I'm not revealing them just yet, because if I drop them too early, you'll miss the point. This isn't about memorizing red flags. It's about embodying a masculine frame that can actually detect when her energy no longer aligns with yours. The signs are just the tip. The problem? Most men ignore their gut because they've never developed emotional discipline. Let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you ever felt that uncomfortable stillness when she kisses you? Like her lips are there, but she isn't. That's not you imagining things, that's false intimacy. One of the signs we'll get to soon. But you need to understand this first. Women rarely leave out of nowhere. They leave emotionally first, then physically, then spiritually, in that order. You'll hear things like, she just changed. No, she didn't. She revealed. When a woman starts pulling away, it's not sudden. It's calculated. It's female nature doing what it's hardwired to do. Seek alignment, not obligation. And here's the brutal part. Once she senses you've lost your edge, your self-respect, and your grip on stoic control, she'll slowly begin seeking that edge elsewhere. Quietly, carefully, consistently. This isn't about villainizing women. It's about understanding the unspoken truth behind the shift in her behavior. The way she scrolls her phone just a little longer. The way she starts taking her time getting home. It's not about one dramatic moment. It's about dozens of tiny, almost invisible cues. And you need to develop the presence to notice what others don't. That's boldness, not paranoia. Let me paint a picture. Imagine sitting across from her at dinner. You're talking, she's nodding, smiling, but something feels off. Her laugh is a beat too delayed. Her eyes flick toward her phone too often. Your gut clenches, but you ignore it. Stoicism doesn't mean numbness, it means knowing when to act. And this moment, it's a quiet call to wake up before it's too late. It's not what she says, it's what she no longer says. That random "I miss you" that used to come during your day. Gone. Her questions about your work, your friends, your energy. Gone. And in their place, numb routine. It's not always cold. Sometimes it's just empty. Emotional withdrawal doesn't scream, it fades. But to a man with no inner clarity, it's always invisible. The moment you begin to feel like a roommate, not a lover, pay attention. That's not just disconnection, it's preparation. She's preparing for something else, something new, a space where she can feel alive again. If she's stopped seeking your eyes, she's likely seeking someone else's. These are not guesses. These are psychological signs, dressed in normal days. And they cut deep. She'll still do things for you, make dinner, fold your clothes, laugh at your jokes. But it's not about the acts, it's about the absence within them. That's where emotional detachment lives. And here's the twist. Some men even prefer it. They mistake it for peace. It's not peace, it's the silent build-up to replacement anxiety. And it always ends one way. Unexpected devastation. Here's something most won't tell you. Women rarely cheat when they're still emotionally fed. It's when neediness starts showing in you, and power starts slipping from you, that her nature begins to react. Not because she's evil, because she's responsive to presence, to strength, to relationship power. And when you lose that polarity, someone else will fill it. You don't need to obsess over her every move. That's insecurity, not strategy. But you do need to observe the truth behind love. It's rarely loud when it ends. A woman can still sleep beside you and be long gone inside. This is where male awakening begins, when a man chooses to stop hoping and start seeing, even when seeing hurts more than believing. If you ever catch her zoning out when you speak, don't ignore it. That's not just distraction, that's hidden resentment taking space. It builds quietly, from unmet expectations, from emotional debt. You may think everything's fine because there's no argument, but men who live by silence die by surprise. Learn to feel the air between words. That's where the truth hides. Now let's touch on something deeper. Her attraction isn't just physical, it's spiritual. It responds to who you are beneath your words. That's why masculine polarity is non-negotiable. It's not about dominance, it's about presence. She senses when you're centered and when you're lost. The more you chase her approval, the more you kill desire. The more you anchor in self, the more she follows. There's a specific kind of silence that hits different. It's not peaceful. It's pregnant with distance. You speak and feel like you're echoing into a void. That's emotional manipulation, but not always intentional. Sometimes it's survival, her way of retreating, of disconnecting without confrontation. And if you're not anchored in stoic control, you'll react instead of respond. That reaction only speeds up the detachment. You'll start noticing she doesn't ask where you've been, not because she trusts you, but because she stopped caring. That's not maturity, it's disinterest. The kind that hides behind "I'm just tired" or "I've had a long day." You'll feel it deeply. That's when your self-respect must become your compass. Stop chasing her attention. Rebuild your boldness. You don't win her back by begging. And here, let's pause just for a second. If this is hitting you harder than expected, that's a sign you needed it. Most men never get this clarity until it's too late. You're seeing what most ignore. So if this kind of content is helping you connect the dots, don't just watch, engage. Like this video right now. Drop a comment. Hit subscribe. Because what's coming next? It might just protect your sanity in your next relationship, and you do not want to miss it. Let's continue. She doesn't announce her shift. She rewards the man who notices without her having to speak. That's the test. That's female testing at its finest. Not always conscious, but always real. She watches how you handle the shift, whether you lean in or hold frame. A man grounded in Stoicism doesn't chase behavior. He observes it and adjusts course with clarity. Let me share a quick story. There was a man, Daniel, kind, loyal, committed. He never cheated, never yelled, but he ignored signs. One day his woman started staying a little late after work. He noticed, but stayed quiet. She drifted, emotionally, physically. When she left, he collapsed, not from betrayal, but from blindness. Today, Daniel coaches other men, teaching them emotional detachment, because he learned the hard way. Silence is not peace. So what can you actually do? Start with presence. Ask questions you've been avoiding. Does she still respect me? Do I still respect myself? Real inner clarity doesn't come from answers. It comes from the willingness to look. Journal your thoughts. Sit in silence. Track your reactions. Develop emotional discipline so strong she feels it even when you say nothing. Next, stop trying to win her back. That mindset screams neediness. You're not here to perform for her love. You're here to realign with your core. That's where masculine frame is rebuilt. Not in her arms, but in your decisions. Go lift, read, cut off digital distractions, watch men who move with power. Surround yourself with men who don't flinch at truth. Become one. Now, here's the brutal part. Some women leave long before another man arrives. But if you're not anchored in perceptive strength, you'll only realize it when there's a new name in her phone. That's why you must move from reactive to reflective. Sit with the tension instead of escaping it. Recognize the pattern. If you see the loss of attraction early, you gain time, and time is leverage. Don't fall into the trap of hypervigilance. That's fear talking. You're not here to become a detective, you're here to become decisive. You notice a pattern, not a moment. A shift, not a slip-up. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion, it's about using it wisely. You feel the signal, then breathe. You see the game, then rise. This is how you reclaim relationship power. If her presence feels heavy, if your conversations feel forced, pause. These aren't random bad days, they're psychological signs of emotional misalignment. Don't brush it off with, she's just stressed. Trust your gut. Male intuition isn't mystical, it's trained through truth. When something feels wrong, it usually is. Not always betrayal, but something is shifting and it's your job to face it. Remember Daniel? His turning point wasn't after she left. It was when he realized he had been emotionally detached from himself. He thought being the good guy would protect him. It didn't. What saved him was owning his blindness. Today he tells men, don't wait for her to cheat. Notice when she disconnects, then reconnect with your power. That's the path of male awakening. Let's get practical. If you're feeling this now, do this tonight. Put your phone away, sit in silence, and ask yourself one question. What am I tolerating? Journal what comes up. Then revisit that list tomorrow, and be honest. That's how you build emotional discipline, through small acts of confrontation. No yelling, no begging, just presence. Deep, clear, masculine presence. Her change of tone isn't random. The shift in her rhythm, how she touches you, how she greets you, these are reflections of how she feels internally. You're not just watching her actions, you're learning her energy. And the more tuned in you are, the less she can hide behind routines. That's truth behind love. Real connection doesn't lie, even when words do. If she starts acting unusually kind, watch closer. Sometimes guilt wears the mask of affection. Sometimes softness covers hidden resentment. And the more you ignore it, the louder the pain gets later. You must have the boldness to confront what feels off, not with accusations, but with clarity. Are we still aligned? That single question can expose what months of silence tried to hide. The moment she starts avoiding eye contact after sex, something has shifted, not just in the body, but in the bond. Men overlook this, thinking it's just mood, but it's one of the clearest psychological signs of detachment. If she's giving her body and withholding her soul, you're no longer the man she sees. And yes, female nature will quietly start drifting toward the man who is seen. Sometimes, it's not another man she runs to, it's freedom, space, the version of herself she lost beside you. And that's where your masculine frame must evolve, not just to keep her, but to hold yourself. You don't chase her, you chase depth. You rebuild respect. Because once she senses emotional distance, she'll test to see if you notice. That's your cue, don't fail that test. Pay attention to how she laughs. Sounds simple, but it's everything. If her laughter feels forced or filtered, something's off. She's not in the moment. She's pretending. That's false intimacy in action. You don't need to call her out. You need to step up, lead energy, shift environments, speak truth. And if she won't meet you there, you walk, with self-respect intact. If she suddenly becomes overly agreeable, don't smile too fast. Sometimes that's not peace, it's preparation. She's avoiding tension while lining up her exit. This is where replacement anxiety creeps in. But instead of spiraling, observe. Speak less. Watch more. Let her patterns reveal themselves. If you've trained your perceptive strength, you'll see it all coming. If not, you'll feel it too late. Here's what nobody tells you. Women leave mentally weeks before they leave physically. That's why your panic feels like it came out of nowhere. It didn't. You just missed the signs, and now you're trying to solve a storm that started as a breeze. That's why this awareness matters. This is the new skill set. Stoicism, pattern recognition and calm command. Build that, own that, live that. She may still say, I love you, but if her touch feels mechanical, if her eyes scan the room while you speak, if she no longer reacts to your presence, she's gone. Love, when real, is felt before it's said, and when it fades, it's the unspoken truth that screams the loudest. Don't argue with her words, read her silence. That's where reality lives. You want to know the 3 signs? They're not in a checklist. They're in her consistency, her emotional availability, and her engagement with you when no one's watching. If she's absent in those, her body may be near, but her soul is elsewhere. Your mission now: become the man who sees clearly, who leads from presence, who lives from boldness, because from here on out that you don't chase, you choose. So now the question is, are you finally ready to see what you've been avoiding? Because the signs were never hidden. They were always there, buried under routine, smiles, and habits you mistook for love. This video wasn't just about her, it was about you, about reclaiming your stoic control, sharpening your perceptive strength, and protecting the man you're becoming. She may walk, but if she does, let it be while you stand tall, anchored in self-respect, not neediness. No more pretending, no more passivity, no more emotional blindness. The next step is yours. You can walk away with awareness, or keep living confused in comfort. And I want to hear from you. What part of this video hit hardest? What sign have you been ignoring? Drop your reflection in the comments with this phrase, "Now I see the signs." Let that be your declaration of awakening. Thank you deeply for staying with me until the end. Your presence here means you're ready for more than surface-level advice. If this helped you, pass it on. Send it to a friend who might be blind to the same signs. And of course, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because this journey has just begun.